Hello everyone, welcome to another Narc Survivor live video. Again, with the city in the background. In this one, we do a very interesting, something that I haven't spoken about before, which is what narcissists do every day when you go no contact. Yes, that is what we're going to be talking about in this video. Because I'm sure many of you would like to know. I'm sure many of you wonder. Because you got to think, you got to consider, you were occupying a lot of their time. They spent a lot of time around you. You may have been with them for many months, many years. And depending on the type of narcissist you were dealing with, they may have been very jealous, very possessive and controlling. They don't like you going anywhere. They always want to know what you're doing, where you are, who you're with. And they're easily threatened by any outside source of influence. So it's like they've always got to be around you. They've always got to know what you're doing. And at times they may have even been stalking you. They may have been monitoring your phone. Because when you're dealing with a narcissist, it's like their entire life revolves around you. It's like you are the earth and they are the moon. So they're constantly orbiting you. They're always there, always over your shoulder, always suffocating you. Which is why it does leave a mystery. It does leave you wondering, what could they possibly be doing now that you have gone no contact? Now that you are no longer something significant in their lives. Because what else is there for them to do? When they once occupied all of their time with you. And they had you wrapped around their little finger. They had you at their beck and call. When they said jump, you said how high. You were always there whenever they needed you, whatever they needed from you. You were always there to give it to them. But it was like they didn't have to depend on anyone else. They didn't need anyone else. And that is why you were their grade A primary source of supply. That is why you were there to them. And that is why they stayed with you for such a long time, because they knew it was going to be very difficult for them to replace you. They knew that they were not going to be able to find anyone else on your level. But I can tell you that there are certain things that they will do when you do finally catch on to what they're doing and the cycles of abuse. You realize that things aren't going to get better. You realize that they're not going to change. When you realize that and you pull back, you go no contact, there are certain things that pretty much every narcissist is going to do. And I've actually made some notes about this already. So I will be referring to and expanding on these notes about what narcissists do every day when you go no contact. But before I get into that, if you're finding this video helpful so far, please hit that thumbs up button down below. I appreciate the support. Thank you. All right, here we go. Number one, when you go no contact, you do that because you've decided that it's over for you. But just because it's over for you, that does not mean that it's over for them. That does not mean that they're just going to disappear and forget about you and move on with their lives. It would be great if that did happen, but in most situations, it never does. And in fact, when you go no contact, when they least expect it as well, they're going to have unfinished business with you. They're going to want to finish you off. And the reason why is because it's so that you don't pose as a threat to exposing them. Because from being with them, you've seen things. You've heard things. And yes, they may have tried to maintain a code of silence, but that's not good enough. Because there's a good chance that you may leave the relationship and you may open your mouth. You may start talking. You may start turning people against them, exposing them. And that is a serious threat to the narcissist. And they cannot have that happen. And in fact, that may have happened before. And now they are already 2 steps ahead of that. They're already anticipating that that is what you're going to do. They're already expecting you to go around and talk about them and tell everyone what they did to you, what you experienced, what you went through. And of course, as we know, narcissists have to maintain this flawless self-image where they're good, they're kind, they're nice people. They're not abusive, they're not manipulative, they're not exploitative. No, they're none of those things. Or at least that's what they want people to believe. And that is why, and you may have not caught on to this, but the entire time that they were with you, they were going around behind your back, talking about you to other people, smearing your name. All the while they were abusing you, they were provoking you. Until the point where you began to snap, you began to act out, and then they could quite easily point the finger at you. But they didn't do it openly or overtly. Instead, what they like to do is they will point out some positive things about you to make it seem more believable. And then what they'll do is observe the way that you're behaving in reaction to the abuse. And then they'll just act as though they're trying to help you. And that's how they begin smearing your name even while you're still with them. Because from the very beginning, they already know exactly what they're going to do. There are no different variables. They already know, they already have it set up from the beginning. And that's why everything they do from that point on is to get you into that space where you're going to become reactive, and then they're able to set you up in front of other people and smear your name. So that's the first thing that they're going to do. That's the first thing they're going to do once you go into a contact, is they are going to smear your name even more. They're going to be talking about you behind your back even more than they did before. And this time it's going to be more open. It's going to be more overt. Because now they've got nothing to lose. You've already gone, you've already left. So now they want to bring that smear campaign into full force. They want everyone to know that you were the problem, you were at fault, and they will just go and blame you for everything that went wrong. And they will act as though they were this Samaritan, this martyr, as though they never intended to do anything wrong to you. And in fact, all they ever did was try to help you. So that's the first thing they're going to do when you go no contact. That's what they're going to be busy with. The second thing they're going to do, once they've taken care of this unfinished business, once they've finished you off as they see it, then they're going to focus on their new supply. And this new supply may likely have been lined up even while you were still with them. Because here's what happens when they begin devaluing you. Now they need someone else from whom they can extract validation to support the false self and make them feel desirable, powerful, important. But maybe you went no contact suddenly and unexpectedly. And if that was the case with you, then they haven't really got any time to get the new supply before you leave, because you've already left. You've already got no contact. So then what they have to do is they have to frantically try to find your replacement. And keep in mind, this is while they're in a state of panic and shock. So in that state, they can be very impulsive, very reckless. They're not thinking clearly. And typically, they will just settle for whatever they can find. They're not going to find someone on your level when you go no contact, when you foil their plans, because they didn't expect you to do that. They expected you to go along with it. They expected it to complete its course. And instead, you drew back, you pulled away. So they're not going to have another option waiting in the wings. There's not going to be somebody lurking in the shadows, because they need time to make that happen. So if you've already gone no contact, they just have to settle for whatever they can find. And of course, it's not going to be someone anywhere near close to you. Even when they do have plenty of time, even when they know exactly how it's going to pan out, they know exactly when it's going to end, even then, they still don't find anyone on your level. They still don't find another empath. So of course, when you go no contact suddenly and unexpectedly, then they've really got no chance at all. And they will just have to settle for whatever they can find, because they haven't got much time. And they cannot be alone. They've got to have that supply. So that's the second thing they're going to do. Every day when you go no contact, they're going to be seeking out that new source. And typically, if they're attractive, if they're successful, it's not going to take them long. Typically, an attractive, successful narcissist, they're going to get a new source on the same day. Potentially, if they're less attractive, less successful, I mean, in today's world, even for them, it's not going to be that difficult, and they will likely find your replacement within a few days in most situations. Because keep in mind, we have bars, we have clubs, social media, dating apps, and with this hookup culture today, so either way, it's not going to take them long to find your replacement. I say replacement, it's not really going to be anyone who's even a fraction of your worth. They're just going to have to settle for whatever they can find. And now on to the third thing narcissists do every day when you go no contact. What are they going to do? Of course, they're going to polish their false self, because it may have taken a blow while they were with you. Once you had caught them out, you caught onto their game, you questioned and confronted them. So they may have experienced a chink in their armor. In that moment, they may have felt inadequate. They may have felt like the frauds they actually are. So now they've got to polish that up. And they will typically do that by taking bits and pieces from their new supply. So whatever the new supply is doing, whatever they're into, they're going to take on that, and they're going to construct a new identity out of that. And this is how it could be so shocking when you see them move on. And it's like they become a completely different person. They're nothing like what they were when they were with you. Now they're doing completely different things. They may be wearing different clothes. They've got a different style. And it's because, just as it was with you, now they have to mimic the new supply. They have to act like they've got something in common. They have to reflect their qualities and virtues back to them. So of course, yes, they're going to make some changes in order to polish their false self. And by making these changes to the false self, they will then use it to garner tertiary supply. Now, some of you may be confused. What is tertiary supply? Many of you may know what primary supply is. Of course, that's what you were to them. The secondary supply, that's typically the person they have on the side. But here's the thing, now that you've got no contact, there's not going to be a secondary supply, and it just goes straight into the primary position where you were, unless they're dealing with multiple sources, as some narcissists may be doing. Typically those successful and attractive narcissists who may have a harem. But if they haven't got much choice, then in most situations, there's not going to be a secondary source. If you've got no contact, suddenly and unexpectedly, the new source is going to go straight to the primary position. They're going to take your place. And by being able to see that, it should let you know that although they may have bigged themselves up, they actually do not have many options. Because if they did, they wouldn't just put someone else into the primary position straight away. They would be entertaining multiple sources. The fourth thing they're going to do every day when you go no contact, they're going to triangulate you with a new supply. They're going to use them to make you jealous, use them to make you feel like you were the problem, as though something was wrong with you. And they will typically do this by flaunting them on social media, or whatever means they have at their disposal. And again, it's really just to polish the false self. It's to get that supply from you, even after you've gone no contact. Also serves as a punishment to try to make you feel regret, to try to make you feel like you just made the wrong decision by going no contact with them. And it may even be to try and manipulate you into thinking that you got it wrong and they don't have a problem at all. Like, they can actually have a good time with someone else, just not with you, because something is wrong with you. So that's the purpose of that. When you see it, when you see them trying to triangulate you with a new supply. And the fifth thing they're going to be doing every day when you go into contact, of course, they're going to be engaging in their many addictions. They're going to be drinking alcohol, maybe using recreational drugs, going to bars, engaging in excessive spending, shopping, gambling, all of these things every day. to distract themselves from reality, to prop up their false self and feed their grandiosity. And they may even be doing many of these things behind the new supply's back. So the new supply may not even be aware of it. So yeah, that's it. That's all I've got on my notes. That is what narcissists do every day when you go no contact. I hope this was helpful for you. And if it was, you can hit the thumbs up button down below. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Hit subscribe and click all notifications to be notified when I go live in the future. If you would like to donate, you can go to my PayPal. It is paypal.me/Narc Survivor. And also check out my Instagram. You can follow me on there. It is Narc Survivor YouTube. Thank you all for joining me on another live video. I look forward to speaking with you in another one very soon.